Hi everyone from Takayama. Now I bet you thought you were going to see some really pretty scenery in this video, but let me tell you about the day and you'll understand. So they hauled us all out early and we went to what's called the morning market. And there's a long river with a street and there's a bunch of stalls that people set up until noon. And they sell fresh fruit and vegetables. And there was a woman there that made us these really wonderful little fish pastries that were full of. One was chocolate, we had custard, and a red bean paste, and they were so good. And then after that morning market, we all went to a cooking class. And it was just as fun as it was in Greece. They split us into 3 tables, and we made an entire bento box. So we made miso soup, we made spinach with a black sesame paste, we made rice with vegetables, we made red potatoes that were basically caramelized, and we made eggplant tempura. And the sauce for that turned out to be ketchup and soy sauce mixed together. And then we made a little matcha jelly for dessert. And it was delicious, and we had such a good time. And the really fun part was we got to decide how much miso should go in the soup. And it happened to be that my table, we used all the miso they gave us, and we really loved our soup. And everyone else thought it was too strong. But you know what? To each their own. That's why we all got to choose. And then, of course, you had to eat what you made. So all our group got the really good miso soup, and the rest of the group got basically, water. So we did that, and then we went to the sake tasting. And of course, I couldn't miss that. And that was a whole lot of fun. We learned a lot about sake and how it's made, and how to tell when it's really good, and when to serve it hot and when to serve it cold. That was very interesting. Plus, we got to drink some. Always a fan. And after that, Joanne and I indulged in some serious retail therapy. So where we were in the middle of town, little tiny streets full of stores. So I bought some earrings to go with the shirt that I had bought earlier in the trip, and we just had so much fun. And then it gets dark pretty early, so we started looking for a place to eat. And it turns out that on Wednesdays, a lot of things are closed. So eventually, we would go Google Map, say restaurant open near me, and it would take us somewhere that was closed. Well, on the way to that somewhere, we finally found this little stall with a guy in it who was serving soups and some other stuff that we don't even know what it was, but it was good. And he was really friendly and really nice. He said, "How did you find us?" And we were like, "You were open. You won." And after we had the soup and everything, we then walked to the Family Mart, and I got some fried chicken because I've heard it's really amazing. It was really good. And then it was already dark, so we headed back to the hotel. And that puts me here in front of this. So I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about Shintoism and the kami. And Joanne's going to video around it so you get an idea of what this is. This is a festival float. And the white lightning bolts you can see indicate that it's Shinto. Now in Shinto religion, the spirits can be of animals, they can be of locales, and they can be of people. And each Shinto shrine is dedicated to a different kami. Now kamis can be capricious. They can be angry, they can be happy, they can give you luck, they can give you bad luck. So it is your job as a person to worship them, to make them happy, and to keep them from bringing you any bad luck. So what they do is each kami has a festival. So each kami has a shrine where they inhabit, and each shrine they do a festival. And they build a float like this. Now you can see the little people at the bottom. That is literally the scale. We saw one of the garages where the floats are kept, and the doors are huge. So what happens is every year, the kami are invited into this float, which is beautifully carved and has like the dragons and all of the things that would appeal to that kami. And the float is then taken around the city. So the kami gets to see the whole city before it comes back to his temple for the year. So we've been learning a lot about Shintoism. We've learned a lot about the kami, and it's been really fascinating how it works in with Buddhism. You very often see the two in harmony working together, as I mentioned in the previous video. So we've had a great day. I'm sorry you didn't get to see any good scenery, but we're going to try and do better next time. There's a lot more scenery to come as we head down the coast. Okay, everybody. Thanks. Bye.